The movie begins with a group of men casually spending time at a local bowling alley. The mood is light, and the men appear relaxed as they enjoy their game. However, the atmosphere shifts when two tall, broad-shouldered men dressed in black coats make their entrance. Their imposing presence commands attention as they approach a man named Luis. It becomes immediately clear that Luis is in trouble. He owes money to a man known as Big Doug and has missed the payment deadline. One of the two men, Tommy Wicker, is there to collect the overdue money. Without any subtlety, he confronts Luis. In a desperate attempt to defend himself, Luis orders his men to attack Tommy. The result is swift and one-sided. Tommy effortlessly takes them down, showcasing both his physical dominance and combat experience. Tommy and his partner finally corner Luis. With ruthless precision, they forcefully press his face against the bowling ball machine. As Luis begs for forgiveness, Tommy issues a cold warning. He lets a bowling ball roll into Luis' face, breaking his nose, and bluntly tells him that he's being spared, for now. Following this violent encounter, Tommy and his partner head to a medical clinic for a routine physical examination. Inside the examination room, Tommy removes his shirt, stands in front of a mirror, and takes a moment to admire himself. With confidence, he remarks that he still looks good, a sentiment he clearly believes. Afterward, he proceeds to a meeting with his boss, Big Doug, to update him on the payments he has successfully collected from various clients. During their conversation, Big Doug shifts the focus to Tommy's personal life. He inquires about Tommy's wife and brother, Eddie. It's revealed that Eddie has gotten himself entangled in serious trouble with Big Doug, and Tommy is currently working off Eddie's debt as a favor. Big Doug then presents Tommy with a critical task. He instructs him to deliver a small but highly sensitive package to a notorious crime lord known only as the German. As an incentive, Big Doug promises that if Tommy completes this mission, Eddie's debt will be fully cleared. Although Tommy is skeptical, he agrees to the job. He asks Big Doug about the contents of the package, but the response is straightforward: he's being paid not to ask questions. Tommy takes the package and departs. As he exits the building, he crosses paths with Luis, who has been lurking nearby, having overheard part of the conversation. After Tommy leaves, Big Doug immediately places a phone call. On the other end of the line is the German himself, who is informed that the package is now in transit. The scene shifts to the German, who steps out of his luxury vehicle and walks into a high-end restaurant. He is there to meet with another powerful crime figure named Nicholas. The meeting quickly turns tense. Nicholas is furious because the German recently intercepted a shipment of silver that belonged to him. Their conversation is filled with veiled threats and hostile undertones. Unbeknownst to the German, Nicholas has stationed a group of armed gunmen in the kitchen, preparing to launch a surprise attack. Nicholas proposes a truce, masking his intentions with a fake peace offering. He says he'll speak to the chef to arrange lunch. The German, however, is not easily fooled. He calmly sets down his sunglasses and discreetly grabs a knife from a nearby table. Just as four gunmen storm the dining area, he flips the table, instantly stabbing one of them and using the body as a human shield. Despite being just feet away from multiple automatic weapons, the German avoids being hit and kills the remaining attackers using their own weapons. After clearing the dining room, the German climbs into a ceiling vent to gain access to the kitchen. There, he swiftly dispatches the remaining henchmen before tracking Nicholas to the back kitchen. With precise brutality, he stabs Nicholas, watches him bleed out while casually sipping alcohol, then methodically wipes down his blade and sets it aside, cool, collected, and lethal. Back with Tommy, he visits his brother Eddie in prison. During their brief meeting, Tommy shares that he's close to clearing Eddie's debt with Big Doug. Eddie, however, protests. He tells Tommy that this isn't his burden to carry. When Tommy insists that he's doing it because Eddie would have done the same for him, Eddie candidly admits that he might not have. Despite the harsh words, there's a genuine sense of brotherly care beneath the surface. Eddie voices concern that if something goes wrong, he'll be the one paying the price from behind bars, surrounded by Big Doug's allies. Their meeting ends on a heavy note. Tommy returns home to his wife, Darla. He finds the dining table already set, and Darla walking around the house wrapped in a towel. After an intimate encounter, they have a conversation where she asks him what he would do if a miracle suddenly happened. She encourages him to consider leaving this dangerous line of work and suggests becoming a bouncer somewhere else. But Tommy argues that such jobs wouldn't pay enough, and that he still needs to cover Eddie's debt. Darla accepts this, and the two share a quiet moment of understanding. It's clear they deeply love each other, even though Tommy never explicitly says the words "I love you." His reasoning is that she already knows how he feels. The next morning, Tommy and his partner Julio set off to deliver the mysterious package. During the ride, Julio's curiosity gets the best of him. He opens the package and looks inside. His expression shifts as he processes what he sees, but before he can say anything, he's shot. The car crashes and flips over. Tommy crawls out of the wreckage and takes refuge in a nearby store. He's quickly ambushed by a group of heavily armed mercenaries. A chaotic gunfight ensues inside the shop. Tommy manages to eliminate most of his attackers and escapes through the chaos. Outside, the leader of the group, Devin, realizes that Tommy isn't just some low-level thug. They were misled about his capabilities. Tommy steals a motorcycle from the scene and rides off. Devin returns to the gas station to review surveillance footage and confirm Tommy's identity. After watching the tape, Devin kills the bike's owner and then calls his employer. The call reaches Anthony, a sharp-dressed crime boss currently embroiled in a gang war with a German. Anthony is furious over the failed ambush and stresses the importance of recovering the package. It's then revealed that Luis has been feeding Anthony information. He tells him that the package is valuable enough to clear Eddie's debt. Anthony, dressed like an innocent professor in a Burberry scarf and yellow tie, has deadly intentions. He instructs Carl to distribute Tommy's photo everywhere so they can find him before the package reaches the German. We then see the German at home, casually preparing a smoothie. He describes the nutritional benefits of each fruit he adds to the blender, while a man tied and bleeding sits nearby. The German calmly interrogates him, threatening his family when he doesn't cooperate. He finds the man's wallet, retrieves his address, and uses the leverage to get the name Anthony out of him. Once he has what he needs, he shoots the man without hesitation. Meanwhile, Carl receives a video from the German showing the massacre of Anthony's men during the earlier ambush. Anthony is livid and delivers a cinematic villain monologue in response. We return to Tommy, now hiding in a public restroom. He's tending to his wounds and changing clothes. He calls Big Doug, saying he wants out. Something doesn't feel right. Doug threatens that quitting now means forfeiting his payment and losing any chance of clearing Eddie's debt. Reluctantly, Tommy agrees to continue. He calls Darla to reassure her, then hitches a ride to Vancouver. At the same time, the German is entertaining a guest at his home. He prepares drinks and discusses food, then they walk into a room filled with medical equipment. Their conversation circles back to the package. The German confirms it's on its way. As soon as Tommy arrives in Vancouver, he's spotted by a security guard who contacts Carl. Carl alerts Devin, and then approaches Tommy. The confrontation escalates into a violent fight, with Tommy overpowering Carl and nearly killing him. Just as he's walking away, Devin shows up. While the two exchange words, Monique, one of Devin's operatives, sneaks up behind Tommy and tasers him. Tommy is captured and taken to a warehouse, where Monique ties him to a chair and threatens him with a surgical blade. Anthony arrives and orders them to stop. He needs Tommy alive to negotiate with the German. He leans in and asks Tommy what makes him so special. In a sudden, brutal move, Tommy headbutts Anthony and kills him instantly. Devin decides to proceed with the negotiation himself. However, things quickly unravel. Tommy manages to free himself during Monique's weak attempt at intimidation. He subdues Devin and tries to leave, only to be knocked unconscious by another of Devin's henchmen. Tommy wakes up strapped to a bed surrounded by medical equipment. The German and a doctor stand over him. They discuss their past. Tommy accuses the German of betrayal, which the German doesn't deny. When Tommy asks what was in the package, the German reveals that he is the package. The football tickets were a decoy. Big Doug sold him out. The doctor explains that Tommy and the German share the ultra-rare HH blood type. The German intends to use Tommy's blood to cure his own failing health. Big Doug had been screening all his men earlier in the film for this very reason. As the doctor prepares to begin the transfusion, Tommy lies. He claims he has a rare condition that makes his blood toxic. As the doctor leans in to verify, Tommy bites him savagely. He breaks free of the restraints and fights off the guards in the room. Bullets fly, but Tommy escapes. The German intercepts him. They engage in a brutal hand-to-hand fight that pushes both to the limit. In the end, Tommy manages to shoot and kill the German. He escapes in a vehicle and drives back home. His first stop is Big Doug's office. Armed with a shotgun, he confronts Doug. The crime boss tries to explain. He claims he had no choice, that if he hadn't handed Tommy over, the German would have come after his family. Though furious, Tommy listens. Doug offers him a choice: resume their business relationship as before, or walk away with Eddie's debt cleared. Tommy chooses the latter, bids Doug farewell, and leaves. Tommy then visits Eddie in prison one last time. Eddie breaks down in tears when he hears the news. He's finally free from Big Doug's grip. He promises to be a better man when he's released. The brothers bump fists through the glass divider in a moment of reconciliation. In the final scene, Tommy takes the car he stole from the German and attempts to sell it. During the process, he discovers a hidden stash of cash in the trunk, an unexpected fortune. He calls Darla and tells her he's on his way home with a surprise. For the first time, he ends the call by saying, "I love you." Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.